Today's questions. Question number 1. How did your mom learn white magic? It is passed down to generations. Think of it as generational wealth, and she did come from wealth also. So, yes, when you come from wealth, you have time to think about the most important things in life than just worrying about food, clothing, and shelter when your basic necessities are met. Money is one thing she never worried about. She said it always comes when you need it. And yes, it definitely comes when you least expect it. Moving on to the next question. How did you practice white magic spells initially and now? Since I was raised in a certain manner, I was using white magic by default. Once you get better at things, you do not require spells. You can manifest your intention directly. So yeah, I kind of was already at that stage. Everything that I thought of would manifest. I would get things even before thinking I needed them or asking for them. So yes, in terms of materialistic things, my childhood was perfect. The epiphany hit me in 7th grade. I had an eyelash on my cheek and a girl comes to me and says, "It's a wish." So she puts it on the back of my palm on my hand and says, "Make a wish." And I was like, "What do I even wish for?" She was like, "You can wish for anything you want." And I was like, "I have everything I want." And then she was like, "Then wish that you do not have everything." And I just happened to do that without realizing the repercussions of it. And voila, 8th grade, my life turned upside down. And in the first time in my life, I flunked in the paper tattoo in French. Who flunks in French? At least the place I am from, no one flunks French. It's a pretty scoring subject. And things started going bonkers at home. It did take me a while to get a grip over life, to put everything in place, to get the energies back on track. I did come out stronger of it. Yeah, definitely. I came out more confident than ever. I also had a lesson to learn not to take things for granted and to be grateful for what I had. I also learned a lot of life-changing lessons during that period. So yeah, it was required. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And it happens so we realize what we are truly capable of. It makes us the better versions of ourselves if we truly learn to embrace it. Moving on to the next question. Well, I do not work in this house, but I want to support my family. So can I cast a money spell? You're just a child, dear. You're not supposed to be worrying about money. But if you want to attract money, then you can attract money for yourself. For example, your studies cost money, right? So you can attract a scholarship. You can basically attract money to take care of your expenses. And then of course to take care of your family's expenses. But do not worry about the adult problems. That is not your job to worry about, dear. You have parents for a reason. They would never want you to sit with all the tension on your head. Moving on to the next question. How do you manage to stay happy all the time? We are humans, aren't we? As from my above answer, I had the experience firsthand. From a perfect life to chaotic life. When I listened to that girl in 7th grade and started thinking, she asked me to make a wish, and without thinking I did. And oh man, the spiral that it caused for the next 4 years, my goodness. It was a hell of a roller coaster ride, I must truly admit. I got the academics fixed after the first term in 8th grade, but on the personal front, my mind was a chaos. It is also a time when you are moving into the teenage phase, the rebellious phase. And my goodness, what a rebel I was. But still loved by everyone. I still do not know how people tolerated me, but apparently they did. And I'm still loved by all. I had to figure out a lot of things. So, after 3 years of chaos in my mind, I took a break in academics, took a year off. And glad I did. I found my peace and calm again. The next 2 years were fabulous when I rejoined school again, and life has been good ever since. If I had not taken that year off, I think I would have been stuck in that energy for a long time. So yes, I did what I had to, found my peace and calm again. I also know to value it now. I've seen firsthand what happens if you lose it. It's chaos unleashed in your life from all sides. And it may not be actual chaos, but most of the chaos is just in your mind. Happiness is a choice, dear. That is why it is important to do the things that make you happy frequently. You need to know what your source of happiness is so you can rely on it when the chaos hits. Moving on to the next question. I didn't feel anything after casting the spell. Will the spell still work? Well, if a spell has worked for you, dear, or if it is working for you, then you will definitely feel the energy of it, dear. And since you did not feel any energy, it is not working for you, dear. You need to recast it. Next question. What happens to serial killers when they are reincarnated? What goes around comes around. We all have to reap the fruits of our deeds in this lifetime and in the next. And some deeds are so bad that it not only jeopardizes you, but your future many generations to come. Have you heard of the phrase, sons have to bear the sins of the father? Well, it is true. And some sins, the curses go to 7 generations to come. So what happens to serial killers? All that agony, the pain that they cause will come back to them multiple folds. Poverty, health issues, mental issues, suffering in this life and in the next. Not only that, they will also be dragging the load of another person's deeds in addition to their own in the next lifetime. One cannot even dare to imagine how such a life will be. Hope that answers some of your questions. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. Love you. Happy magic till we meet again.